What's going on, everybody? This is Joe, and I am here to open an Aetherdrift pre-release kit opening. That surely makes sense, so don't worry about it. I said opening multiple times, but you all know what this is. In fact, actually, maybe you don't. If this is your first one here, I will let you know about me very briefly. I am the person who has opened more pre-release kits than anyone else here on YouTube. And despite my fumblings at the beginning, I will not be stopping anytime soon. Ice in your veins, fire in your engines. Let's get this thing going. On the inside, we've got this sick art of Chandra on her, I'm going to call it a motorcycle. I'm sure they have, like, maybe it's an ether cycle or something. We've got the +1/+1 counters, the stun counters, the finality counters, and this is more +1/+1 on the top on the other side. And then kind of the same thing here as well. There's the internal box. Here is what the Planeswalker symbol punch-outs look like for the set. Checkered flag. Pretty standard, but cool. I mean, it makes sense. And there's like that little bit of filigree at the bottom. So I will leave that off to the side. We've got the box, which shows Chandra shooting at this canister that was thrown by this goblin during the race. We have, inside of the kit, a blue D20, which will go with my other ones over here. I did not open a white D20, or nor did anybody else during the event that I was attending, where I was asking people for a white D20. So if I do not open one in the next kit, because, by the way, I will have one more of these next week, then I'll probably end up finding one way or another. For those of you that did not see this or did not see me open the 3 pre-release kits in a prior video, first of all, you're more than welcome to click up in the top right-hand corner and go check that video out. I have, like I said, opened 3 kits prior to this on camera, live at our sponsor store, Champion Card Collector in Poughkeepsie, New York. If you get a chance to check out Champion, you definitely should. They're an amazing store. And so if you're anywhere near the Poughkeepsie, New York area, you should definitely go check them out. You can check the link in the description for their website. But we have Avishkar Enhanced Racer License for Chandra Nalar, Cloud Spire Racing Team. She is the captain. Her hair is fire. Her race is human, and this is her Omen Pass. And then I will try to read it at the bottom here and show it to all of you at the same time. But it says, warning, or I guess danger. Organizers of the Girapur Grand Prix will not be held liable for bodily effects racers may experience, such as smoke inhalation, spirit possession, keel hauling, mummification, tire tread exfoliation, abrupt vertical acceleration, and accidental relocation to the blind eternities. So, and here is the back. This is like very trippy in person. I don't know if it looks the same way on camera, but like looking at this feels like it's like one of those like magic eye puzzles or whatever they're called. It's real weird, but cool, obviously. For folks that are not familiar with pre-release and are like, what's a pre-release? What's a pre-release deck? Pre-release is a really good event for new players. So if you're interested in bringing a friend into the fold or a family member or something, a pre-release is a really great event to start them off at. After you've done, I would recommend maybe some kitchen table matches, but you know what I mean? Like for your first like actual event, this is what I would recommend. And in fact, there's this little insert here for building a pre-release deck. Usually pretty good, but it literally says it here at the bottom, but I've always said this. When in doubt, ask for advice. So it says you can ask other players for help, and you can adjust your deck throughout the day if you're not satisfied with it. The number of times that I used to, lose to an opponent who was like very good, and then say to them, all right, here's my pool. What do you recommend? Like if I get just trounced. And they can look and say, why aren't you playing this? Why are you playing this? It's like a pretty common thing. Obviously, you have to find like a play group or a store where people are supportive and not just like there to rag on you, especially if you're a newer player. I can say, because we go to Champion. Champion is not that store. People will say, you know what, I personally like this card better. I recommend this one. I really wouldn't play that one. Or say, you know, I like to say to people, why did you put that one in there? What did you hope to do with it? What spoke to you about that particular card? Because I can say, you know what, I'm not a big fan of it, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't go in your deck. It just means I'm not a fan. So if you have a particular thing where you're like, oh, well, I opened Bossery or whatever, and this will work really well with Bossery, then great. I'm not going to argue with you on it because that's just your thing. But I want you to be able to, you know, I want people to be able to play to the best of their ability, right? And then on the other side of this is basically an ad. But again, for newer players, that might make sense. If you really like this kit and you really like this set, maybe you're like, all right, what else can I buy? Well, play boosters, bundles, commander decks, finish line bundles, and collector boosters. So lots of different options for you from Aetherdrift. And then we've got a max speed token. I thought they did this backwards in the... I guess I'd have to check the other video. I thought every other one of these that I've seen, I thought showed it from this side first. But anyway, here is the Start Your Engines 1, 2, 3 speed and then max speed token. One in every kit, and then some packs will have them incidentally as well. And in this little package, we have our promo foil rare, which is actually really pretty looking in foil, but it is the Muraganda Raceway. Again, speaking of Start Your Engines, but there are a number of these rare Raceway cards, or lands, I should say specifically, for the different locations of the race, and they do different things. You start your engines, it has one base effect, and then if you're at max speed, it has a secondary effect as well, or instead. And so this one with max speed, you add double colorless. Otherwise, you add one colorless. But then, like I said, gorgeous, a little pringly for folks who are following along at home and care about that sort of thing. I don't know if you can yeah, you can definitely see that, right? It's a little pringled. Also, the interesting thing about this, I've always said, especially with these types of lands, I don't love opening rare lands during pre-release. I like being able to use my rares and mythics to like try to point me in a particular direction, maybe. Obviously, it doesn't have to be that way. And of course, throughout this video, if you see a particular deck that stands out to you of like, hey, Joe, if I opened this kit, I would play blank. I would love to hear that from you in the comments down below, because if you come and watch us on stream, I am not a prolific deck builder. I do the best that I can, but any tips and tricks are always appreciated. This is a very fun card, Siphon Fuel. I don't love the art, but I do love the ability. Good card. We have a Silken Strength. This card I'm not as big of a fan of. Flood the Engine I am, though. Bright Field Glider, the possum mount that is definitely a flying squirrel. Crash and Burn, lots of removal in this pack, holy crap. A Ticket Tortoise, what's up, buddy? I love this guy. Trip Up, speaking of, I mean, this is more tempo removal, but it's still pretty damn good, I won't lie. We have our first uncommon in Momentum Breaker. A Sky Serpent Seeker. So these are also cards that are important to keep an eye out for. These are the gold uncommons, 2-color gold uncommons. These are basically cards that, like, if you're anywhere near these 2 colors, you want to be playing these cards. These are the ones that will let you know what your deck is going to be trying to do in those 2 colors. And so, yeah, I like to keep track of these alongside my rares and mythics to let me know, like, hey, I've got a lot of Simic, right? Blue-green gold cards. I might want to lean in that direction and kind of see where we go from there. But this is a very good card, good pickup. Sky Serpent Seeker. Then we have a Roadside Assistance. Yes, please. And our next card, by the way, I guess I should say, there are 3 uncommons in every pack. The next card after our 3 uncommons could be a rare, a mythic, or another uncommon. And so here we have another uncommon in Spire Mech Cycle, a hasty vehicle with another exhaust ability, which means now our rare or mythic is a Captain Howler Sea Scourge. This guy loves me. I've opened so many of Captain Howler. Holy crap. It is a 4-mana 5/4 Shark Pirate with Ward 2 and pay 2 life. So your opponent has to pay 2 mana and 2 life just to target this guy. And whenever we discard one or more cards, one of our creatures gets +2/+0 until end of turn for each card discarded this way. And whenever that creature deals combat damage to a player this turn, we draw a card. Very interesting. And again, blue-red, so 2 colors. We could be Teamer, right? Blue, red, green, and still play the Sky Serpent Seeker. But again, this is only the first pack, so I'm not married to any decisions yet. We will see what else we open. This is a fun card, but if we don't end up playing it because we have much more powerful stuff in other colors, this is not the end of the world in my opinion. But if we do have a lot of like cycling cards or discard effects in general, this will definitely be high on my list for sure. Behind it, again, we could have more rares and mythics. We could just have our foil. We have our foil is a foil common in Bounce Off. Okay, I mean, works very well with either of the 2 gold cards that we opened, our rare or our Sky Serpent Seeker. Both are part blue. This card is fine, actually. I mean, I've seen people use it against me to pretty good effect. I don't know that I've ever used this card personally, at the time of recording, of course, because we do stream every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern right here on this channel. And so by the time this video comes out, I may have done it on stream. Who knows? Behind that, our land is, in fact, a Simic land in Thornwood Falls. That's pretty funny. Very, very nice. And then behind it, our art card is a Shark Pirate as well. This one, Captain Howler Sea Scourge. Very nice. It's just the alt art for him instead of the regular art, which is what we opened. But still, Captain Howler, like I said, this guy really likes me. I wasn't lying. Here is pack 2. So, I mean, I said I like when my rares and mythics are able to point me in a particular direction. I think Captain Howler Sea Scourge is a fine card, but I'm not like jumping up and down about it. It's not like a bomb or anything. And in my opinion, at least as a first non-land rare or mythic, we have a Spot Cycle Scouter. That's a good one. A Magmakin Artillerist, a Chitin Grave Stalker, Bestow Greatness with this big, big dog, a Hull Drifter, that's a fun card, a Light Shield Parry, there's some cycling, by the way. We have a Guide Light Matrix, okay, so this cares about mounts and vehicles, becoming saddled or crewed, respectively. We have a Wretched Doll as our first uncommon. This is not a bad card at all. We have a Gallant Strike as our second uncommon. More removal, and it has cycling. And a Dracosaur Auxiliary. That is a very fun one. A little expensive, of course. It's 6 mana, but this is sealed. And a 6 mana 4/4 flying haste that if you can saddle it immediately and attack, it does 2 damage to any target, and that can include your opponent, or you can get a flyer out of the way or something like that, so that your opponent can only chump block this or can't block this at all. This is very, very good. Behind our third uncommon, we have another uncommon in Point the Way with loot on there. Very nice, and a Story Spotlight card. And our rare or mythic is a Sabsunin Luxa Embodied Simic Mythic with Reach, Trample, and Indestructible. This is a legendary creature god. It is a 6/6 for 5. It can't attack or block unless it has an even number of counters on it. 0 is even. And at the beginning of our first main phase, we put a counter on this. Then, if it has an odd number of counters on it, we draw 2 cards. So this thing just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It's a 5 mana 6/6, which is already busted as hell. And we already have the Sky Serpent Seeker and a Thornwood Falls. So, I mean, so far, yes, please. Absolutely. Behind Sabsunin, our foil or another rare mythic, it is a foil common in Wreck Remover, which is actually not a bad card. We are playing in sealed, right? This would be best of 3 if we're at a pre-release. So you could put this thing in your sideboard and then sideboard it against somebody who's doing some graveyard shenanigan-y type things. Then we have, a full art island. So the nice thing about the full art lands in this set is you are driving the vehicle that is traveling along the land. So this vehicle, because it's an island, is a boat. You're probably a pirate or a ship captain at minimum. But hey, Guess what? That's cool. We sure do have Captain Howler Sea Scourge. He's a captain. So anyway, Full Art Island, these are gorgeous. Like, all of these are so cool looking. You get to see somebody doing a jump elsewhere in the race or whatever as you're going along. It's really, really cool. And then we have another art card, this one for Atchick, Emerald Radian. I know Amy loves this card, Amy, my wife. For those of you that have not been to one of our streams or checked out our other 2 channels, links down in the description box below for our video game channel, Video Games for All, as well as Gluten Free for All, Amy's channel. So you can go check both of those out. And then whether you're here or there, please don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell. We really appreciate it. Hey, we have a Glitch Ghost Surveyor. That's a great card. Ride's End, solid removal. A Magmakin Artillerist again. A Deathless Pilot, Bestow Greatness again. Again, notably, I don't know, I mean, it's a combat trick, it's 3 mana, but if we have a lot of blue cards, right, if we're playing green-blue, and a lot of our blue stuff is instant-based, then we could keep this up as well and just have a lot of different varied options for what we might be able to do at any given time. We have an Aether Jacket, not a bad card at all. It's an artifact, so we can go in literally any deck we decide to play, no matter what colors it is, or no matter what colors the deck is. We have a Dynamite Diver. This is a very good 1-drop. We have a Trade the Helm, which is a cycling card, but it's also 5 mana, and you can exchange control of some. I don't know that I've ever seen anyone cast this. I think I've only seen people exchange it. Exchange it. Wow. Cycle it, excuse me. But anyway, this is our first uncommon in Trade the Helm. Defend the Rider is the second. And Risen Necro Regent is the third. I actually really like this card. Which means our next card is another uncommon in Roadside Barrage, of course, notably, right? I talked about 2-color uncommons. This is the one for red and blue, which goes well with Captain Howler. It's probably not better than our Mythic, but like I said, if we can find some fixing for red, we might consider putting both of these in, Captain Howler and this one, if we feel that they go well enough in the deck. But our rare or mythic, maybe that will help us. It is a Vinwixt Verbose Host. It technically doesn't help us because, I mean, he would go in either a blue-red deck, a blue-green deck. I said either, but any of the blue-red deck, the blue-green deck, or the blue-red-green deck. Because he is blue. But anyway, Vinwixt Verbose Host is fun. He starts our engines, we have no maximum hand size, and if we would draw a card, we draw 2 instead if and when we get to max speed. Behind Vinwixt, our foil, yes, is a foil uncommon in Hour of Victory. Can you all tell that that's foil? Yeah, sort of. I know that Amy really likes this art, but it's really dark. So, like, even the fireworks you would think would be, like, really cool in foil. And I don't know. Maybe you all can see it better than I can, but I'm not seeing it, man. I don't love this foil. I will not lie. But anyway, behind the Hour of Victory, we have a Rugged Highlands. There is a way to splash red. Thanks, Kit. So if we if we want to, this is red-green. So we will be aware of that. We can keep that on the side. That's fun. And we have a pilot token as well. Very nice. We are halfway through. We have 3 more packs to go in this opening. We would love, as I said, I would love to know what kind of a deck you would make by the end. I mean, first of all, if maybe we switch away from blue-green in any capacity, you can let me know. But also, if you would or would not splash red, and then what you would splash it for is also super helpful if we're sticking with what our current plan is. We have a Gilded Goda to start. Spin out, more removal, love it. Luxodon Surveyor, not bad at all. Sky Streak Engineer, yes please. Another Surveyor in Leonin Surveyor. Another Guidelight Matrix. A Wreckage Wickerfolk, not bad. A Ranger's Ether Hive is the other Simic uncommon, because there are 2 of each gold uncommon pair. Color pair, I suppose. One is a vehicle and one is a non-vehicle, whether it's a spell like Broadside Barrage or a creature like Sky Serpent Seeker, whatever the case may be. But we have the vehicle for Simic in Ranger's Ether Hive, which means we have the 2 gold uncommons and the mythic in these 2 colors, which is really awesome. Really awesome. Plus, this is just a great card. 3 mana for a 3/5 Vigilance vehicle, and whenever you activate an exhaust ability, you make a Thopter. And it has crew 1. So if you make 1 Thopter, that Thopter can then crew this 3/5 Vigilance. Absolutely incredible. Behind it, we have a Cloudspire Captain. That is our second uncommon, right? Yeah. And a Shifet Archfiend. This is a very expensive card, but it does have cycling, notably. Theoretically, if you really needed cycling, you could absolutely put this in your deck, even if you do not have a single way of producing black mana. Just throwing that out there. And behind our third uncommon, we have an Explosive Getaway rare. Now, this is red-white. We would almost certainly... No, sorry, I will rephrase. We would not be splashing for this because we would have to splash a 4th color, which I would not be comfortable doing. But anyway, it's a fun multicolored rare. So there's that. We might have another rare or mythic back here. We do. And it's... Are you absolutely shitting me? It is Sita Varma Masked Racer. It is the rare Simic creature. So we have both Simic uncommons, the Simic mythic, and now the Simic rare. And it's the alt art. This actually looks really cool. That is so funny. I wonder if this kit wants us to play Simic. This is not our foil. It's an alt art rare, which is great. But that means that our foil is a Scrounging Skyray, which is a blue uncommon. Hell yeah. Give me a moment as I stack my cards here. And we can look at the foiling pattern. This one looks actually pretty cool. And I like the sky, the background in foil. Those colors look really, really cool. It does care about discarding cards, and it itself has cycling, but it's also a 1/2 flyer for 2. So... not bad at all. If we have, because I mean, blue-green itself is trying to do exhaust abilities, it seems, but there will probably be incidental cycling cards in there. So I would probably put this guy in, but I would double check. I would count how many cycling cards I had. If I had none, I probably wouldn't put this guy in. I won't lie. Behind it, we have a regular mountain. So nothing crazy there. And, ooh, that's kind of crazy. We have a Chandra Spark Hunter emblem. Whenever an artifact we control enters, this emblem deals 3 damage to any target. And a vehicle on the other side, because Chandra also could make this vehicle token. Very nice. Speaking of Chandra, here she is on the front of this pack. We have 2 more packs to go. That pack was very loose. Interesting. Okay. Well, hey, this is a fun card. Nimble Thopterist. I mean, it gets in, no question. 2 creatures for the price of 1. A Lotus Guard Disciple. This is a very good card. Not for this deck, but it's a good card. Kickoff Celebrations. I would probably not splash for this, even if we were splashing red. Another Spin Out. Another Luxodon Surveyor. Another Flood the Engine. Yes, please. A Night Market. So if we are splashing red, I would absolutely put this in. If we're not, I would question it. I mean, it does have cycling, right? So that's a thing. It's just cycling 3, which is a little expensive. But if we're splashing red, this gets in regardless, and then if we end up drawing it late game and cycling in anyway, that's just profit, right? We have a Defend the Rider again as our first uncommon. Another Broadside Barrage. This kit is busted. Wow. And another Risen Necro Regent. I mean, I mentioned that I like this card. We do have 2 spin-outs, right? That's the name of the card. I don't know that, like... you know, I would really be looking at black in this kit, but I mean, that's pretty interesting, I won't lie. But our next card is... ooh, it is a Showcase Art Broadcast Rambler common, which is really cool. It's an alt art vehicle at common. But that means that behind it are rare or mythic, I assume? Yes, it is a Thopter Fabricator, which is again another blue rare. Wow, this kit, I mean, are you kidding? This does specify whenever you draw your second card each turn, so again, more cycling, because obviously cycling, like the thing that I find interesting is when I activate cycling abilities in a cycling deck, I'm like, oh, well, I'm activating the cycling ability because I have all these cards that are like, when you cycle a card or when you discard a card, X happens, but it's like, but I'm also drawing a card, and like, not that I forget to draw my card, it's just that like, that somehow seems secondary to the fact that like I'm getting all these benefits for cycling something, for discarding something. So this is a nice way of reminding myself, like, no, you're also drawing a card, and you can get a benefit for that because it'll be your second card that you draw each turn, so you make another Thopter. Like, really, really cool. Really good card. Behind it, our foil, yes, is a foil common in Ether Jacket. Obviously, we saw this one non-foil earlier, so this is our second one. Gorgeous foiling pattern, actually. I really, really, really like that, especially all this background here. Behind that, a foil land as well in a regular swamp, a non-full art swamp. But that is also gorgeous in foil. Really, really, really pretty. Wow. And an art card for, yeah, you guessed it, Varma Masked Racer. The regular art, of course, because we saw the alt art moments ago. But anyway, we have one pack to go in what has been, I mean, just a wild kit of Magic the Gathering cards. Like, what the hell? What a weird, wow. Okay. Well, actually, Amy will be very pleased if she watches this video later. We have a Broken Wings, and we're playing green. So this card absolutely gets in. So that's very, very nice. We have a Spectral Interference. This card gets in too. This deck is probably going to be pretty damn good, I won't lie. We have another Ride's End. Again, more solid removal. An End Rider Catalyzer. Again, even though it's red, probably not splashing for this guy. A Grim Bauble. I actually really like this card. I think it's very good. I think our black has actually been pretty sick in this kit, I won't lie. Just from, like, keeping a mental tally of, like, all the cool black cards that we've seen. I don't think it's better than our Simic, because I don't know that anything could be, but our black seems pretty cool. We have a Ticket Tortoise again, been a bit. We have a Trip Up. We got one of those in the first pack, I believe, as well. And I would absolutely play at least one, but probably both, especially because this has cycling. We have a Marshall's Path Cruiser. I do not like this card for limited, personally. You are always more than welcome to disagree with me and let me know why in the comments down below. It does have an exhaust ability, but we're not going to be paying all 5 colors of mana, even though we do care about using our exhaust abilities. We have a Boosted Sloop, which is the vehicle uncommon in red-blue. So, yup, we sure do have 3 red-blue uncommons and the Captain Howler as a red-blue rare. We do have 2 sources of fixing for red mana. Obviously, you could put like a mountain or 2 in the deck as well, but you really want to make sure that you're hitting your blue and your green on curve, because our rare Varma is 2 mana. Our Sky Serpent Seeker is 2 mana. The vehicle is 3 mana, and the mythic is 5 mana. But if you're fiddling around with like, oh, well, I have my mountain and an island, but I don't yet have my forest, like, you're going to miss out on getting your curve out, and this format's pretty fast. So even in sealed. So something to be aware of. But that's not me saying that I wouldn't try to splash red. We would have to see. But Boosted Sloop, kind of a pretty good reason to at least consider trying or look through the things that I have. It does mention, by the way, the Broadside Barrage that I'm looking at over here. You all can't see it, but now you can. It does mention draw a card, then discard a card. So the benefit for drawing a card, a second card each turn, or discarding a card, it doesn't say whenever you cycle. It says whenever you discard a card. So that is something that is quite relevant. And something to keep track of. This thing also says, draw a card, then discard a card. Really, really nice and very synergistic stuff there. We also have a Fang Druid Summoner. This thing wants us to have creatures with no abilities. I don't think we opened any in blue or green. There is the like 3-2 for 2, I think, that I'm thinking of, but I don't think we opened that one yet today. So, and by yet, I mean, it's a common. So unless we get it in foil, we're not getting it in this pack. And Country Roads, they're not going to take us home this time because we're not playing this land, but it's really sick art. The colors on this are absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. But it means that our next card is our rare or mythic, actually, right? Because that was, yeah, never mind. Our rare or mythic is, of course, a green card. Hell yeah. In District Mascot. This card gets in, no question. Very, very nice. We can remove counters from it to destroy an artifact. We can saddle this guy up, which is deeply unsettling, because why? Why would you saddle up this poor dog? What would you saddle up this poor dog with? But anyway, fine. It's a 0/0 that comes in as a 1/1. It's a single mana, and again, I said this format's fast, so definitely good. So here is the district mascot. And that is our last rare, but we do have a foil green, or blue card, excuse me, that's not green at all. A foil blue card as well in Spectral Interference. That is an insane looking card in foil. And again, it definitely gets into the deck. It is 2 mana, counter an artifact or creature spell unless its controller pays 4. There are absolutely going to be artifact and or creature spells being cast by your opponent, and it's going to be very difficult for them to pay 4 unless it's way into the late game, and even if it is, they might try to cast 2 spells in a turn or something like that. This card is gorgeous. Oh my god. And then our last land is a foil forest as well. Absolutely gorgeous. Followed by the Ether Spark. Wow. Okay. I mean, obviously it's not the card, but it is the art card, and it is the gilded signature art card signed by the artist, which is really, really nice. I'm trying to let you see that. Yeah, you can see it. That is really, what a cool, cool kit this was. Wow. I really hope you all enjoyed this video, because I sure did. I got to sit here and open really cool stuff. Obviously, would have been a little better if I had opened it at the pre-release itself or playing in an event itself, because I would have just gone off in Simic and had a ton of fun. But I actually really enjoy doing these openings for all of you, obviously, right? I've done it more than anybody else on this entire platform, which I think is kind of impressive. Maybe other people don't. You're more than welcome to give me your opinions in the comments. I won't be offended, I promise. But, I mean, I really think I would play Simic. The actual question that I want to ask is it worth splashing red? Because personally, I guess I would have to count, right? If I am counting through my cards and I'm like, well, every card that like absolutely gets in this deck makes it 21 or something like that, then I might go in and say, okay, well, I need 2 more cards. And I could, if I add 4 more, I can splash red. So I would just look for the 2 worst kind of green or blue cards, take those out, and swap a couple of lands out to make sure that I could play my red cards. But otherwise, I think I would lean, like without actually laying it all out and looking at it, I probably would just stick Simic. I think that complicating it with a 3rd color is a little much, especially if we're trying to hit our exhaust abilities, which, especially for like somebody like Sita Varma, you need double green and a blue. And like, if you want to hit that on curve or something like that, it might be a little bit more difficult. So I would probably, like I said, just stick Simic. But I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Maybe you watched this video and you're like, Joe, listen, not just Captain Howler, not just Boosted Sloop, not just both Broadside Barrages, but like really you should, because you have all these other cards that care about you drawing and discarding, which is what your uncommons do, stuff like that. I would love to hear from you down in the comments below. Please let me know what you would do if you opened this kit at pre-release. Thank you all so very much for watching. I did hint at it earlier, but we do stream MTG Arena Limited live every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern right here on this channel. We would love to have you join us. You're more than welcome. We also stream live over on Video Games for All. Like I said, those other 2 channels, Video Games for All and Gluten Free for All, links down in the description box below, as well as links to our socials. Go check out Gluten Free for All's Instagram. Like I mentioned, my wife Amy, killing it over there, and you should go check it out too if you or someone you know and love is gluten-free. Whether by choice or through allergies, should definitely go check that out. Amy does some amazing things with showing gluten-free foods, checking out gluten-free snacks, etc. So please let us know what you think, and don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell over there and over here. But for now, from us here at the Geek for All family of channels, I have been Joe, and as we always say, in whichever video of ours you watch next, we will see you all next time. Thanks, everybody.